Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. In this video is to bring you a closer look at the Bommer number 5010-356T-639. Let's dissect the part number. The 5010, the 50 part means that it is a full mortise, 5 knuckle, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plain bearing hinge. No ball bearings, it's a plain bearing hinge. It's full mortise, because you can see from the swag on the hinge leaves there that when they're brought parallel, they're intended to be mortised flush to the edge of the door and frame. The 1 in the part number means it's a wide throw hinge, meaning that it is wider than it is tall. Don't know if you would consider like a 5 by 4.5 a wide throw because it's not square, but wide throw hinge. In this case, 3.5 by 6. The 0 after the 1 means that it is a steel base hinge. Okay, steel base hinge. Now the 356 is the size. It's 3.5 tall, and the height is always first on these hinges. You wouldn't call it 6 by 3.5. It's 3.5 tall by 6 wide. The T stands for ball tips, is what that stands for. Decorative tip, very attractive hinge with that ball tip. Very common. Ball tip is the most common of all the tips. Your button tip is standard. Decorative tips, ball tip, urn tip, steeple tip, acorn tip. Ball is by far the most common. Okay. The 639 means two things. It means that it is satin bronze plated on steel, not a bronze base material. It means it's a steel base. If you wanted bronze, it would be a 612 finish. That would indicate a bronze base material and a satin bronze finish. There is an image, there is a link below this video to the cut sheet, which shows everything important dimensionally about this hinge. The only thing we've not discussed yet is the leaf thickness, which is 123 thousandths. Typical leaf thickness. Okay. Shows you where the template pattern of the screws are, and speaking of screws, you'll get screws in a complementary finish. Now on the left lower side, you see that there's a column called steel hinges, brass or bronze, stainless steel. Your 5000 is your standard hinge, your non-wide throw. When you get to the 5010, you're talking wide throws. 8000 is a 3-knuckle version. The BBs are going to give you ball bearings, which is great if you have a door with a high volume use or a very heavy door. LB is the same concept of bearings, but it's a concealed lube bearing, proprietary to Bommer in terms of their construction of a concealed lube bearing. The next column over gives you those same part numbers, but in a brass or bronze brass or bronze base metal. The finish dictates the base metal. Bronze is on bronze, brass is on brass, satin, chrome, polished chrome is on brass. Then you've got stainless steel, polished or satin, and those hinges are used when you need corrosion resistance, or maybe a very strict adherence to a finish. Nothing is exactly like stainless, but stainless, of course. Okay. Additionally, below this is the rest of the guidelines in the extended description that we've pretty much already covered. Now, where you would see a wide throw hinge, you're going to see it in a number of places. You'll see it in an exterior door that has unusually thick casing or maybe brick mold, and you need extra reach on the hinge to be able to get the door out and around that condition. You could see it in a application where the door is set in deeper into the frame. You know, when you stand on the pull side of a door and you run your hand across the frame and the door is inset ever so slightly, 3/32 of an inch or about. But what if you did that 3/4 inch, or what if you did it 5 inch? You know, you inset it in deep. I've seen instances like that. Historical places, you might have a 3-story home in the southeast that's 150 years old. Well, there's no steel in the construction, and those first floor walls are 18-inch thick. So I've seen doors, huge frames in terms of depth. The doors in the center of them are very pushed in. Would be an instance where you'd use a wide throw hinge. Had a customer call today and need a wide throw hinge because he had an opening, dining room to a corridor. 4 doors, 2 outer doors, 2 inner doors. The inner doors are hinged to their outer doors. The inner doors fold back and around. Then the client wanted to take that stack and fold those back around to the wall. Well, when you lay that out, you certainly need a wide throw hinge to help get all that accomplished, because now your thickness is much greater, and a wide throw hinge will certainly help do that. Windows, if you're doing windows, you might have windows set into a brick wall, and you need to open the windows, not only to 90 degrees, but, of course, back around the face, so you can use your shutter hardware to keep them, fastened to the face of the wall. So those are your typical installations where you're going to see wide throw hinges. If you have any questions on the application of the calculation, please feel free to reach out to us. Bommer makes this hinge in all standard sizes for wide throws, finishes, those combinations we talked about earlier, decorative tips, non-removable pins if you have an exterior door. You don't want someone to tamper with the pin to drive it out. You want to set that firmly. Non-removable pins, security studs. Radius corners, you can do 1/4 inch, 5/8 radius. This is obviously square corner. The last thing I'd like to point out to you is the Bommer logo. It says Made in USA right above it. A fact that Bommer is quite proud of, as am I to represent them. If you have any questions on the Bommer number 5010-356T-639 wide throw ball tip satin bronze 3.5 by 6 hinge, or any other Bommer product, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.